also known as the Teres Major, and we're going to look at a bison one today, but beef and bison are pretty similar in how you prepare them and cook them and how they look. So let's get to cutting this Teres Major. You can see this is how they come right out of the bag. There's some silver skin here we need to remove, and we need to cut this silver skin off here, just clean it up a little bit. So for those of you in food service that care about yield tests, let's go ahead and weigh this. This weighs 0.85 pounds. 0.85 pounds. I'm going to have Gretchen convert that to ounces for us. Gretchen, multiply 0.85 times 16. So in the Meat Buyer's Guide, if you're in the food service business, this is a 114F. 114F, it's clod tender. And the clod tenders, you know, they weigh about 3/4 of a pound. Hardly you ever see them bigger than a pound unless they're out of a cow or a bull. But these here are fed bison, and most of you will be cutting these from fed cattle. And you got to get rid of this silver skin, because just like any silver skin muscle on any primal, you can't really bite through it. You know, the fat you can, but not the silver skin. Like this fat here, you could just bite through. It's got some nice marbling in there. These eat wonderful. These are about half the price of tenderloins most times of the year. So they really eat well. I actually like them better than tenderloins, because tenderloins are kind of mushy, and these have a little bit of bite to them, like a sirloin steak. And you can use a small knife or a big knife on this, just whatever you're using. Make sure it's sharp. If it's not sharp, you'll rip the meat, because I'm hardly putting any pressure on there at all. And these are great on the grill, and we're going to grill these today. If you're having some guests over for dinner and you want a really good steak that cooks quickly, this is a great item. The nice thing about these too, other than big thick steaks, you know, if you're cooking ribeye steaks or thick steaks that are 1.5 inches to 2 inches thick, you know, people like them to varying degrees of doneness. You can have a hard time getting everybody's steak just perfect. Whereas these, because they're so small, it's much easier to get your guests the steak that they want. That actually would be good enough right there just to start cutting into steaks. Let me get rid of this last piece of silver here. And then I'm going to I'll just weigh the leftovers here. Now this, in food service restaurant, you know, we'd probably just cut that off, so that would be loss, thrown away. And then this end here already kind of ended up, so we're going to go ahead and cut into steaks. Before we do that, let's weigh it again. Now we're at 0.71 pounds. 0.71 pounds. So, Gretchen, what was our starting weight?
13.44 ounces.
Yeah, but what was it in pounds? Did you write it down?
0.85 pounds.
0.85. So we went from 0.85 pounds to 0.71 pounds. So I'll have Gretchen figure that yield loss, and we'll just tell you guys that at the end of the video here. So now it's time to portion these. There's two ways to do it. Now you can cook these whole, just like this, in the oven. You can put these in the oven and just roast them in the oven roast them. They're wonderful that way. But the best way, I think, is to grill them. You can grill them whole like this. It's kind of like the size of a pork tenderloin, isn't it? Just a little bigger. You can grill them just like a pork tenderloin with just a little salt and pepper. That's what we're going to do today. But let's just say you're going to have some guests over and you want to steak these. So if I was going to make like 4-ounce portions, I would just, you know, cut there, and then maybe cut this one here, and then cut this one here. I'm going to do another one real quick for you. Gretchen, would you give me a plate? And I'm going to cut this one just a little bit different. I'm going to skin this one real quick, and then I'm going to show you how to butterfly this. Because if you wanted to make this butterfly style, it cooks on the grill really, really fast. And it gets to a very uniform doneness that way if you butterfly it, because you can make it all pretty much the same thickness when you butterfly it. And if your guests all like medium or medium rare or medium well, whatever it is, you can get it all to the same doneness by butterflying this open. I like to butterfly these and stuff them. Make pinwheels out of them. Kind of like you do a flank steak. You know, you take a flank steak and you trim it up like this, and then you open it up and butterfly it, or make it thin, or pound it out, and then you make yourself some a stuffing mix. Maybe use fresh spinach and some onions and some garlic, and you put it down the middle. We'll just show you guys that another time, but these are excellent. Cooked like that. So here, that's pretty good. I just want to show you how to butterfly this. That's going to cook off. This little bit of silver skin right here, this little membrane, that is going to cook off. But I'm going to just take it off there. You wouldn't even notice that if you were biting through it. Now this you would right here. Got to trim that off. Okay, so I'm ready to butterfly this. You can butterfly this with a big knife or a small knife, it really doesn't matter. And all you do is right down the middle like this and open it up. Now be careful not to cut too thick, too much down, or you're going to cut it in half. But what you do is you just go like that and kind of keep pushing it open. And Gretchen, can you give me the meat mallet? I think it's on the back counter over there. And then see this here, it's kind of thick here, you can just butterfly this right here and open that up. See that? Wherever it's a little thick, a little thicker than you want it to be, you just cut it real thick. Where this works great if you have a sharp knife. See, that's a nice uniform thickness there. So this is already pretty tender meat. So you may not want to use too many pounds with the knobby side here. Just use the flat side. It's very tender meat. You're going to love the quality of this meat. So that's where I would get it to be like that. Now if I was going to stuff it, I just put my stuffing here in the middle. You know, like I said, my spinach, my onions, my garlic, and then I would just roll it like that, and then make a little pinwheel out of it, and then tie it with a couple strings, or put some netting on it to keep it. We'll show you that another time. So let's go put this on the grill. So we're outside now, and I'm putting these on the grill, and I just am putting some Montreal steak seasoning on these, on both sides, for some flavor. You can see this one here, I've got whole. This is the whole one, and you can grill it whole just like this, or you can put it in the oven and grill it. Just set that back there. And then these little bit of steaks here, you can do the same thing. Nothing fancy about this, you know, this is just your backyard barbecue. Just a little salt and pepper is all you need. I like the Montreal steak seasoning because it's got some spices in it too. Everybody likes that, but and here's the butterflied one. That one's going to cook really fast. You don't really want to walk away from these on your grill because they will grill really quickly. Take these two off. I'm going to close the grill just to let those sit there, and then we'll come back when they're done, and we'll show you how they look when they're done. So dinner is almost ready here. Hey, you're going to love these, but one thing that I want you to remember about these, as well as all beef cuts, that they need to be aged for at least 14 days. Anywhere between 14 days and 28 days, these are going to be phenomenal. So, bon appetit, enjoy.